How would you describe the rules of our relationship?
Rules aren't love. The rules are no rules.
Hello, my name is Ariana Jarrett, and I'm here with my boyfriend, Wade McKenzie. We've been in a somewhat unconventional relationship for about the past 10 years. We started off long distance, and while I wouldn't consider us to have what most people think of as an open relationship, we have slightly different views on monogamy than most people. Today we are answering your Tango's Truth Be Told questions to learn a little bit more about each other and deepen our connection. Neither one of us has seen these questions before. Wade, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's get started. If I lost my memory, what would you tell me about our relationship?
I'll tell you, it's been a long and short one. And we've been together a long time, but a short time. And it's been a fun time, the most interesting one you've ever probably had.
That would be true.
If I lost my memory, what would you tell me about our relationship?
If you lost your memory, I would tell you that I have been the one true love of your entire life, that you never loved anybody else, and that it's been the best relationship that you've ever had, and there's nothing you would change about it whatsoever, that everything that I do is exactly perfect.
Oh, I remember that.
That's if you lost your memory.
That's what I would say. I come to my senses then.
Oh, then you come to your senses and remember. Like, that doesn't sound right.
What do I do that makes you feel the most loved?
I think it's when I've specifically told you that I want you to do something, and I know you hate having to do something that you were asked to do, and then a few days later, you'll find a way to basically do it. And I know that that's a real stretch for you because you feel like you don't have to do anything. And I appreciate that. And it makes me feel loved.
Shanna.
What do I do that makes you feel the most loved?
Oh, let me count the ways. No, you love me quite a bit, so being there for me anytime I ask, I guess, or anytime I need it, something like that.
Would you say that we are in an open relationship? Why or why not?
Oh, I would say in our own mind we are, but when it comes to reality and day-to-day life, probably not as much as we more of a thought process or a thought of it being that way than it is reality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my answer. Would you say that we're in an open relationship? Why or why not?
I think that we're both generally too tired to like make good on being in an open relationship. And generally, I don't personally have any, I'm too involved and invested and in love with you to really care about that. But I also genuinely, sincerely believe in just like, I don't think you can ever enforce anything with anybody. And I know that for you, just feeling your freedom is so important that I do sincerely. I know sometimes it doesn't sound like it when I get, a little jealous or whatever, but I sincerely want you to have what you need as far as like your freedom is concerned. So that's how I consider it.
If you could have 3 wishes from me, what would they be?
I would wish to have a more, I know that you appreciate me. I do. I know it. I wish that you felt more free to be able to say that. I know you feel it, and I wish that you felt more free to say it without feeling like you had to. I would wish from you for you to be more present, to enjoy this stuff, because I think we do a lot of really fun things together. And I wish that you for me, it would be for me if you held on to that when we're not in those moments anymore and focused more on the good things than on what's bad. I don't know, it's so hard because some of the things I would want, like I was going to say, I would wish for you to like ease up on me about certain things that I,
probably a 3 point.
You think I need to do. But I also know it helps when you do push me to do stuff. So maybe to tell me nicer. If you could have 3 wishes from me, what would they be?
Well, I wish you had all the money and I could just be
I know you.
The stay-home artist I could be.
Yeah.
I wish you would cook more.
Okay.
3rd wish, I wish you just keep being the person you are to me.
And learn how to sew.
We'll put that in later.
Okay. Thank you. That's sweet.
What is something I worry about in our relationship that you wish I felt more confident about?
I think you worry that the two of us can't get stuff done together because we both like get too scattered and like off on different things or whatever, or you feel like it's gonna all have to be your kind of driving it. So I wish you felt more confident that like you could let me do more without you having to be on top of all of it, and that we do get a lot done. What is something I worry about in our relationship that you wish I felt more confident about?
I guess you worry about my lack of being respectful sometimes during arguments when I say, okay, I'm finished with this.
Yeah.
After we have the same argument about something about 3 times, we'll forget it, then I can figure something else out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just me probably blowing off my steam about it because I don't want to hear about it anymore. But you say, why do you got to go there? And then I'll say, oh, so you probably wish I wouldn't go there when I have some silly argument about mountain out of a molehill thing.
Okay, well, that's good to know. If someone asks you who I am to you, what do you say?
I say, that's my gal.
Yeah, I know.
If someone asks you who I am to you, what do you say?
I say my boyfriend, but I hate that word. It sounds so stupid, like we're in high school, but I don't want to say partner because it sounds like we're lesbian lovers, but we're together and it's the same thing as if we were married, but we're not. And then I go on for way too long. It's my weight. That's where I land up.
Right. I'll pass on that one.
Well, no.
No, it's good. What is one thing I can do to improve our intimate life?
Not be so self-conscious about it.
Not be so self-conscious?
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes lately, like you just get more stressed out about, it's always fun for me. So it's like, I think that you sometimes feel like it's not going to be good enough. So then you don't, want to as much. I think you're just always.
It's just the grain of the hair and the age, that's all.
I like it. It's all good for me.
Answer that.
What is one thing I can do to improve our intimate life?
Don't worry about it so much. Let it come natural.
I'm very satisfied with that answer. What scares you the most about our relationship?
That's what you opened up saying about, we have an open relationship. Mm-hmm. I guess I would say that not wanting to be in the normal box of a relationship, and feel like stuck in a relationship. As time goes on, it's kind of my own construct. So I'll keep on saying that right as we go on. What scares you the most about our relationship?
Well, it would go back to that same thing, is that I know that you get that feeling of being boxed in. And so sometimes I worry that not because the relationship isn't good, but just because you feel constricted, right, that you would need to get out. So that's actually helpful for me to know.
Same thing, but different.
Yeah.
That's why I think about this thing sometimes. It's like the same, it's kind of, we get the same answer, but different.
Yeah. But I think that's good because we're on the same page. What is one thing you do for me that I don't appreciate enough?
You're only unappreciative if you want to pout about something.
That's true.
Like you'd have to know us to see it.
Right.
And you're just like, oh, wow.
In the moment. Yeah.
I'm unappreciative.
Yeah.
And you want to like lash out about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's like, you're really appreciative. What is one thing you do that I don't appreciate enough?
Well, I think you would expect me to say, you don't appreciate anything, but I know that you do. I know that you do. And even when I'm trying to help you set up your phone and you're yelling, I know that you make it like a point of being like, I appreciate you helping me with this, even though I hate everything about what's happening right now. So I know that you do appreciate it. I think you just sometimes don't want to acknowledge to yourself that you appreciate it, so you don't acknowledge it to me. But I don't think there's anything you don't actually appreciate.
What recent experience made you feel closer to me?
Like, it's so silly because it shouldn't be that dramatic, but we were out a few weeks ago and I passed out in the middle of that event. You,
Very.
I would only expect you to be like this, but you were so attentive to making sure I was okay, like physically, like that you, like where you were wiping me down with I literally passed out on the ground, and you not only got me to a place that was safe, but you completely like wiped me down with water to make sure I was, cool enough, and made
You're trying to bring you back to life.
Yeah, and you got that EMT to come over and everything, and I mean that's basically what anybody should do. But I could see on your face like how concerned you were and how invested you were in making sure that I was okay, and you were just completely focused on that, and that made me feel close to you.
It's called compassion for another human being.
I know. It's shocking that you had it that day. What recent experience made you feel closer to me?
I guess maybe that experience, but the incident where you passed out, yeah, it felt a little like that. But I knew you were gonna be okay. I mean, I was like confident it'd be all right. I just wanted to like be there for you and make sure you're all I had, and we only had each other there. And business thing that we've been doing together brought things in closer financially too, closer in relations, closer in adult relationships.
Yeah, almost like we're grown-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost like no.
Do you ever want to get married to me? Why or why not?
That's one that's always like on my mind. Some days I think I should get married. And the days I just go about it the way it's going. But if I was to marry anybody, I'd probably just marry you. So, right.
As well.
I might as well. We'd have to figure it out how it would look.
Mm-hmm.
Like how we would want to do it.
Right.
Do you ever want to get married to me? Why or why not?
I feel both ways about it. Like I've probably since I met you, I've wanted to. You've asked me a lot of times. Why
to marry you?
No. Yeah, right. No, you've asked me why I never went back to my maiden name or never changed my name. And I was like, because I always expected it to become Mackenzie at some point. And so part of me really, really wants that. But also like going back to the conversation about the open relationship, part of me feels like if we did, you would panic, like you would feel so constricted that I wouldn't want that to be what ruins our relationship. That's the only reason I wouldn't want to. I think I get scared of it because of both of us having been married before. It's not fun to go through the idea of a divorce and all of that. But really the only reason I wouldn't is if it was going to ruin things.
What's the best way for me to support you when you're upset?
Just like hear it. Like when you just like let me sit and like talk about whatever's going on and like tell you the whole, like you probably know more work drama than half the people that I work with, and that for me is like everything. Just the sitting and like hearing me out is the best thing for me. What's the best way for me to support you when you're upset?
Just shut up.
I know.
Just for a second.
Yeah.
So we can regroup. You let me throw my own boyish fits and like talk about if I'm trying to work at some device, and every day we're throwing a fit about something.
Right.
Vice versa. Like, oh yeah. We're each other's go-to. So you listen to me when I'm doing it.
What do I wear that makes me look sexy?
Mostly anything.
Aww.
Except for some of the stuff you pick out.
Like the puffy sleeves.
There's a couple things I don't like, but I mean, like, most of the time you got a good style, so I like that.
Thank you.
What do I wear that makes me look sexy?
You take that little like orange scarf thing and you make yourself like a little like, what is it? It's like a cloth.
So wrong.
Yeah, you make like a
so wrong.
Yeah. So wrong. It's so wrong is right. Yeah. I love it when you wear that.
All right. I guess I should have wore that today.
There you go.
What do you think is the hardest part about being in a relationship with you?
I'm a little needy. I'm not. No, I know I can be needy. Like I need a lot of like reassurance, or I feel like I do. I feel like I come off that way. And also I think I can be a little bit hypocritical. Because I can be like, oh, I want like all this stuff. Like, I want you to have your freedom. I want you whatever. And then when you like take an inch of it, I can be like, why are you doing that? Why aren't I coming along? Why didn't you invite me? And that's just me being a baby about it. So I think that's probably annoying.
That's your answer, sure.
There's a lot of other worse stuff. What do you think is the hardest part about being in a relationship with you?
Yeah, my attitude sometimes. I don't think you've come accustomed to it now, but I don't think it's something you grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something I came with. I'm not the most positive person when, I could be the most positive person and be super Mr. Positive, but other times I'm like, go down. I'll blame it on the artist in me, up and down sometimes.
Right.
It's hard for anybody, but you seem to deal with it.
Because I always think that's harder for you than it is for me.
Then I think it's harder for you than it is for me. Say, whoa.
Well, maybe I'll start thinking it's harder for me then. When was the last time you cried? Tell me why.
When we were driving to Robert Martin's, I was talking about this cowboy guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember in the past, I guess, like that past that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, you get nostalgic when you talk about those kind of
I may cry right now.
cowboy guys.
Yeah, I got some nostalgic tears that come up.
Mm-hmm.
I cry about other things too, but something about that. Those
Old cowboys and bagpipes.
Yeah. When was the last time you cried? And tell me why.
That same night, like after I passed out and I came back, it was pretty short, but something hit me then because we had just gone through a month-long issue that got resolved that morning before we went where we went. And I expected when it was resolved to feel this like huge relief. And I didn't. I still can't really put a finger on what I felt. It was just sort of like this unraveling because I felt like for, what was it, like 6 or 8 months that I was holding everything, every single piece of my being together like this to be okay and to be okay for both of us and to have my energy focused into it working out. And so then it just became, I felt like every part of me just about fell apart. And it was pretty brief, but that was what it was about.
You had to almost pass out and fall on the ground first.
I don't know if that's why I passed out or not, but yeah, I think maybe. Would you say that you are the more dominant or submissive person in our relationship? Explain.
Oh, I'd say I'm the more dominant. I'm the dom in this relationship.
Are you supposed to?
I don't need to explain anymore. No, I feel like I'm the more dominant one. I take the initiative and have you follow with me and do what we're going to do. But I don't think he was a submissive like that. Like here, I'm just blind submissive. When you disagree with me and that's our role we have and we work together like that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say you're more dominant or submissive in this relationship? Explain.
Well, no, I mean, for sure, more submissive. And I think it's one of the reasons that we actually connect really well. Because I think that's just now, I don't think there's any like you trying to impose that or me trying to impose it. I think that's just sort of how we both, prefer things to be, and it works.
If you had to describe me in 3 words, what would it be?
Handsome, artistic, and loving. I need room for smart too.
And smart?
Yeah, but
it's 4.
Funny. If you had to describe me in 3 words, what would they be?
I would say smart, together, you're fun and sexy. Those are 4, same. So we named 4 each other. We broke the rules.
When was the last time I made you feel jealous or left out?
I'm the one that does that to you, so give me the card. I don't really have lately. When was the last time I made you feel jealous or left out?
I mean, probably, but it goes back to my answer about like the me being kind of silly part. Like every once in a while you go do things with your friends and I feel like, especially if it's a horse thing, like if you just go do like a guy thing, it doesn't bother me. I think the last time I really felt left out was when you went that one morning that I thought I was going to go with you somewhere. There was a morning where I thought I was going with you somewhere, and you didn't think, because we didn't have a really specific conversation about it. And so you went there with your friend without me. And it wasn't a big deal. And if we had talked about it before and I knew what was going to happen, I wouldn't have felt that left out about it. But I did that day. But I will say, now that I'm finally getting some female friends, finally, after it's been several years for me to meet women up where we live.
In our area.
Yeah. Then I went to have lunch with a friend and you were like, well, can I come? And I was kind of like, no. And I thought, oh, yeah, I was being a really big baby about a lot of that stuff because
you should be
going to do
with your friends.
Friend. No, I'm saying I was being a baby about you going to do stuff with your guy friends. It was really just me not.
Well, I know I can go have fun with my guy friends and do anything, but unless it's with horses, then you got to go.
Right.
I got it. Let me see. What's the most attractive thing about me?
I mean, I don't know, because I'm just attracted to your general being. It's like the weirdest thing for me. So it's not like a specific trait or whatever, but there's something about your style and like your pattern of speech and everything. There's something like a little, even though you're like, California native, that, you come across like some kind of an old world Texan or something like that. I don't know. So your whole kind of that essence, that cowboy, like steel worker, like tough guy.
You like manly men.
What's the most attractive thing about me?
Well, there's things I can't say on camera, probably. For me, also is like your physical beauty. It's a lot, though, actually. So I'm not good at answering this question because, like, it is a lot. It's like inner beauty, outer beauty, I'm attracted to. And then, I don't know, and the way we work together, too. Maybe you don't like it as much as me, but I like them all. That's attractive to me. I enjoy having you, like, to be as a partner, that's attractive. Like, it keeps me coming back,
What do you consider cheating, and how would you define it?
The definition? I don't know if I consider anything cheating, but now we started off saying, oh, we're in an open relationship. Mm-hmm. This is where the answer would come up, I guess. Mm-hmm. Answering it to the question. Do what you want. Mm-hmm. That's where that comes in. Like this, so there's no cheating. I don't know what the explanation would be. Mm-hmm. If you really feel that's what you got to do, because that's what you got to do, that's what you should do. That's the freedom I want to have.
Right.
And I don't want to be like, I'm not saying to like be all sleazy or anything about it. I'm just saying you, being you, the person, it's on you. You do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be cheating on me, Now, if it's about yourself, then you might cheat yourself. Mm-hmm. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That'd be that explanation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you consider cheating, and how would you define it? I need to know that.
I don't cheating as a word that I would use. Like for me, I think also if I was just going to honestly say what I would consider cheating in our relationship, there's nothing that I would say is cheating. I think I feel betrayed or would feel betrayed if there are things that I'm telling you that I need and you won't or don't do those things for me and you will for someone else. That to me I wouldn't call it cheating, but that feels like a betrayal.
A lot of lines.
To me. Yeah.
Does the idea of us being forever in love scare you or comfort you?
I don't know if the idea of it definitely doesn't scare me. I don't know if it comforts me. I guess the idea I would say comforts me. If believing that would comfort me, definitely does not scare me. That's what I want. That's how I, see it going. I really can't, every once in a while, like I can't really see it going a different way. It just seems like how it's going to be or how it is. Does the idea of us being forever in love scare or comfort you? Explain.
Oh, it's comforting. Explain. Yeah, because I feel like it's a journey, to keep on That's something to look forward to. If it was like scary, then I was like, I wouldn't be as comfortable, or something to look forward to. I don't want something that scares me. I enjoy the fact that we're like, even if it is scary, it's still on the more comfort level.
Mm-hmm. In what ways am I good for your mental health?
Let's say you're like 50-50. I wish it was 51-50.
Or 51-50, you don't want that.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I said that on purpose.
I know you did.
Yeah, you're like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other. Sometimes, it's like, that's how I think of it sometimes. But for the most part, yeah, you keep me on track, and if I am an artist and that's a cop out, or if it just is, some people, like have my episodes of like, bang, today this thing looks like bullshit. You'll let me like say, okay. But then if it lasts too long, you're like, hey, come on. And then I go, oh, okay, yeah. Keep on moving down that. You keep reminding me of like the last question. Or keep on moving forward. In what ways am I good for your mental health?
Well, I think just being with you, I generally feel safe with you, right? And having been through situations where I didn't feel safe, that's really good for me to have.
Generally?
Yeah, generally. I think the biggest thing that you did for my mental health, it always sounds weird to other people when I talk about it, but I've told you, and I really mean it, was that I would ruminate for so long about difficult things that happened with my kids and related to my first marriage. And I would just sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and spin out on it. And I told you about it one time where I was like, do you ever have, when I was driving up to you, and I said, do you ever have these times where you drove for like 4 hours and you were actually like in another situation, or like a horrible thing that you went through, that, and the whole time you're driving, you're in that place thinking about it the entire time? Isn't that a weird experience? And you were like, I think that's just you, and you need to get over it. And it just really like drove home to me like how much I was stuck in that.
Well, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that's just you. I mean, like, that's just you being you right now with that. You're stuck in it.
Well, but it wasn't a normal thing. It's not like, oh, everybody walking down the street who's not in the middle of some deeply traumatizing experience doesn't sit around trapped in a courtroom for a 4-hour drive like I was doing. And I thought, oh, that's just what everybody does, is they sit in their trauma. And it was like, oh no, I'm sitting in trauma. It really woke me up to that. And
that's why I said, if you want to be stuck in trauma, that's where you better get out of it. Because I mean, that was my answer. That was me remembering that.
Yeah. You're like, read Siddhartha. But it was good. It was really...
Read Siddhartha.
Yeah.
As soon as you have a child, read that.
Yeah. That moment was a major shift for me. For my mental health, I mean, if that hadn't happened, I don't know where I would have gone with it. So what didn't you get in your marriage that you would like to have in this relationship?
I get recognition and I get companionship. What didn't you get in your marriage that you would like to have in this relationship? Or that you're getting?
No, well, I was going to say, I do think I have a...
We've had a long relationship already.
No, I feel there's a real mutual love, as opposed to just being like a tool, or there to fill a role or a purpose. I mean, I'd say forever, because I didn't get that in my marriage. I'm glad I didn't have that in that marriage forever, but yeah, for it to last.
Wow, was there ever a moment you didn't think we were going to make it?
Last week at 5:30. For sure. I mean, because there were moments where we stopped talking for weeks or months, or for sure. There were moments where I thought we weren't going to make it. There were times when I did totally just say, okay, I'm just in acceptance that this is just over, for sure. Was there ever a moment you didn't think we were going to make it?
I think it's the opposite for me sometimes. I think we're never not going to make it. Even though I do that a lot of times, throw a fit about something. They're going to think I'm a fit thrower all the time now. Better explain it. But
Well, you just get emotional. You have a tendency when we get in fights, right, about anything, or we have like a hard discussion about something, to just say, if it's going to be like that, I don't need to be in a relationship, or I don't need this relationship, or this is exactly why I don't want to be in a relationship, right? And basically say, then it's over, or get out, or pack, like things like that. And it's never in a calm, in the middle of like a calm, like we're hanging, like, hey, you know what, maybe it should be over. It's always in the middle of that, like, kind of heated vomit. What is a small thing I do that you really appreciate, but you don't often say out loud?
small thing,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of all the critters I bring in
That's a small thing.
to the zoo.
Yeah.
It started out small, but
Yeah.
I think I like to get up and watch you out there, like going around making your little rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a small thing, but then now it looks like a bigger thing. But
You're like, that watch it an hour later.
yeah,
Yeah.
I probably told you I appreciate it, but I enjoy watching you doing it because I like you. I know you like it, and appreciate that you enjoy what I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
What is a small thing I do that you really appreciate, but you don't often express out loud?
What I said before, I appreciate when you do things that aren't what you want to do, because I would want to. Even like it's not a small thing, I guess, but like your birthday. Like, I feel like you spend your birthday with me for me, not for you. You'd prefer to be alone. And you do a lot of things like that. And that's something I have to remind myself, because sometimes in moments it seems like you're not doing something that I would want. Like, we had this baby horse, and I really wanted it to be, I thought I wanted it to be a colt. I wanted it to be a boy, so it would be worth more money and all of that. And when it was born, I was about to be born, I was thinking about names. You kept saying something about it being a girl, and I thought you were going against what I wanted, and you're thinking about it. And so I was kind of, frustrated with you about that. And then in your mind, you were thinking, if it's a girl, I can keep it, because it wouldn't be worth as much, so I would be able to keep it. And that I wanted to keep that horse's baby for her. And it took me, I think you finally said, if it's a girl, you can keep it, and then I realized that was actually a really loving thing you were doing that I wasn't thinking you were doing. So it's all little, you do little things like that all the time.
How would you describe the rules of our relationship?
The rules are Wade's rules. I don't know if we have rules of the relationship other than, well, I think we kind of tend to travel around your like time frame, like what's going on with you and all of that. And I think that's kind of like a rule, is that it kind of has to work that way. But that goes back to that question, that dominant submissive question. That could be like a fun like sex question or whatever. But I think it's really, if you think about it in that way, it's my natural tendency to go with your
question
flow.
after that.
But it's my tendency to go with your flow anyway. So it's like, it's not necessarily a rule and more of a natural way of being. How would you describe the rules of our relationship?
I was listening to some podcast the other day, and they were talking about rules and love. Rules aren't love. And they were saying, I was kind of like thinking, we got a lot of rules. And I was thinking, well, I also thought, well, we don't really have any rules. So we're like, seems like we want to have rules, we want to have these things, but actually, we don't seem to have that. What about the love? I guess it's just all love. A lot of times I don't acknowledge that as much as I would think. So I say the rules are no rules.
Yeah.
Relationship. That's the rule.
Yeah, that's true. What is one thing in our relationship that you would like to apologize for?
Again, let me count the ways. I'd like to apologize for maybe being inauthentic about things prior years, I guess. Not being as present as I could be. So when I say inauthentic, I mean it's just like not showing up for you as much as I still being there, but letting you down a little bit, like when I probably could have done something different.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing in our relationship that you would like to apologize for right now? Something I don't know about.
No, I think for not being a little bit better able to not give you a hard time for things that I've already told you are okay. Like I've said it a few times now, I think, but I struggle with my
That's really more right with that. My mom used to reaction, right? Remember I told you that. I'm used to it and I hate it.
But I still feel like I should apologize for it because it's not how I want to be. You know, I don't appreciate it about myself. I'll do it again. Don't worry. It's not going to change too much. But
I won't expect it though.
Yeah. So I'll apologize now in advance for all the times I'm going to do it. And then we can just be good.
I'll take that, I guess.
Okay.
I'll take that as an apology.
It is an apology.
What is something I did at the beginning of a relationship that you wish I still did now?
Well, I feel like you used to be very like freely complimentary, you know, and you used to make me feel really good. And it was one of the things that for me, not because it's about, oh, I need, like sometimes I think you think that I need attention, and that it's not about that. It feels loving. Like it feels like a special connection that you don't have with anybody else in your life when they say things like, I don't want to have to get, you know, or not have to, but I don't want to hear, you know, compliments or like sweet nicknames and things like that from anybody else. So if I'm not going to get it from you, I'm not going to get it. And that is sad. So I miss that. I also recognize part of it is having been long distance at the beginning, we'd be texting all the time instead of constantly in the other person's face doing daily stuff. And then it's a lot easier to only text when you're thinking, oh, I want to have a moment where I'm going to say something fun or sweet or whatever. I think it's different in like the day to day. Just because you know I want it, even if you're not feeling it, just send me like a sweet text just because I want it and you don't.
That's what I should apologize for in the last one.
I think you should apologize for. What is something I did at the beginning of our relationship that you wish I would still do now?
You're pretty consistent. Out of all these years, it's still pretty consistent. I can't really think of anything. Maybe it would be like the answer would probably be like for both of us to go back to when we can figure that out together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The texting.
Figure out, like you said, like we figure out what we can do for each other that we did in the beginning. Not just something you did for me or I did for you. Like something we did for each other, with each other.
Mm-hmm. What's a truth about yourself you sometimes hide from me to keep the peace?
Unfortunately, I probably don't hide much from you, so peace isn't always kept. That's what I say. I mean, when I said that earlier, I think I was more inauthentic at a time in our relationship, but now I'm just like, this is all me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really I want to have like my little secret and things, but like you're like, you already know them all, so like,
mm-hmm.
Probably nothing, right?
I wouldn't know if you were.
There you go. What's a truth about yourself you sometimes hide from me to keep the peace?
No, I think the only thing is that sometimes I try not to let you see maybe how stressed out or worried I am about something, because I know that you stress and worry enough for more than both of us. So I think you do know how I feel, but I don't always share with you. And I don't think I need to, though, because sometimes I feel like it's like the ruminating thing. Like I think that I could easily get myself into a place where I would dwell on it if I shared it more anyway. So in some ways it works out well for me.
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I agree with it 100%, but...
That I hide it? I probably don't hide it well.
Like you say, you want to hide it and something to really be more transparent about.
Uh-huh.
Not that you're hiding it. I mean, just like, I think it's something you do that you think is good for us, but then when we talk about it later on, I'm all, oh, I wish you would have told me that.
Mm-hmm.
It gets it off your chest, gets it off my chest.
Mm-hmm. When do you feel the most proud of me?
When we accomplish something together, I guess. I actually feel proud of you a lot more than I'd probably say, but you're right. As I get older, I think it's like I'm getting more quieter about things.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not as good, but I don't compliment you probably as much as I should. I feel proud when it's not just like business things. It's just like when you just accomplish something around the house or something, or accomplish watching a TV program together or something. I don't know. It just feels proud we do things together, I guess. Again, that would be something you and I know what we're talking about, but Ray might not know get that. But oh, when do you feel the most proud of me? I was gonna let it go, I guess.
I feel proud of you all the time in general, but I think I feel the most proud of you when we were talking about before. It's where I went to with the wishes for you. When you are able to be present in your accomplishment of something and enjoy it, or like own things that you can do really well. Like we were over at our friend's place riding horses probably a month or two ago, and for a while when we've been going over there, you've been really questioning your own ability to do the things that you want to do when you're out there. And so you kind of hold yourself back and you get just too in your head about it. And that day we went and you just listened to what he was telling you to do and you did your thing and you were out there enjoying it and you didn't worry about what the horse was or wasn't going to do. And you were just being your confident self, and then you do amazing. And the fact that you're enjoying it and recognizing that you're doing a great job, that's when I probably feel the most proud of you. What does your family think about our relationship?
I think we both have a little bit of attitude and we're both quirky in our own ways, and my family likes to have somebody that I can enjoy life with. That's why I asked if I could come up. They'd have to say it themselves, but that's kind of what I get from them by chatter right here. What did your family think about our relationship?
Well, they like you. My dad loves that you take care of my car. Like for him, he just like so happy that I am with a man who makes sure my car is okay and safe, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I think they all see how my life is shifted and changed with you, and the things that we've built where we are and the animals that we have and all that stuff, and they see how much I enjoy that. And I think they see me being really like fulfilled and healed, a lot more. And I think that they're appreciative of that and happy about that, and they like you and enjoy having you around. They probably would like to see you more. Then they should drive up, right? So, but they really, I think they're happy about our relationship.
We've got a big place they can go to.
I know.
A lot of area they can come to. What are your long-term goals and aspirations for our relationship?
Grow old and never die. I don't know. I mean, do whatever we're going to do and do a lot of fun things and have some adventures and enjoy each other and keep growing. You said about the growing part, like that for me is really, I've gone back to all the time. Like one of the things about saying it's an open relationship is that whatever our like waves have been for the past 10 years, we always come back to each other. And that always actually just makes me feel that we're stronger or more connected. So just to keep coming back like that, every time you have not saying you should do it more, but every time you have your moments where you say, let's just be done with it, and we aren't done with it, it's another reminder to me we aren't.
Right.
So what are your long-term goals and aspirations for our relationship?
Just keep doing it.
What are the 3 things you love most about me?
Well, I love your looks. I love your mind. And I love who you are. I love you.
Oh, it's sweet. I'm not going.
You know what I'm going to ask, though? What are the 3 things you love most about me?
I love your warmth, like the way that you are loving. I love your looks. I do. And I love your strength. You're a very solid, strong person.
I'll work hard.
What is one thing you learned doing these questions today that you'll be thinking about for a long time?
Well, a lot more than one, that's for sure. Probably I'm going to be thinking about 30 of these things a lot. That's why I'm stumbling in my words, because I'm deep in thought about a lot of these questions we had today. I knew it was going to be something like this I necessarily wasn't prepared, but there was no way to prepare anyway. I've never done anything like this before, but I'll be pondering a lot. Not just one thing. What is one thing you learned doing these questions today that you will keep thinking about for the long time?
I learned that you want to marry me. No, that's what I heard. I learned that a lot of the things that I believed and thought were the way that things are, as far as the strength of our relationship, that they're true, that's real, and that's really important for me. Thank you for doing this with me. It meant a lot to me. There's a lot that I'll be thinking about and feeling really good about, and that I'm sure I will hold on to for a very long time.
My pleasure. Yeah.
And thank you for watching Truth Be Told.
All right.
Okay.